Hello everyone, my name is Carmine, and I'm reporting to you live from the dig sites here of Redline Archaeology. Today, I'll be walking you through the newest collection we've dug up here at Redline Archaeology, coming fresh out of Las Vegas, Nevada. This collection has not seen the light of day in almost 30 years, and truly, in this collection, there are some absolute stunners to be highlighted here, folks. So, let's not waste any more time and begin our deep dive into the recently unearthed Las Vegas, Nevada collection. Up first, we seem to have an infestation of the ever-popular custom Volkswagen, an original 16 model from 1968. And by the amount of unique colors we have present here, you can see why I called it an infestation of bugs. We've got all sorts of colors on display here. Green, blue, aqua, purple, orange, antifreeze, so on and so forth. The beetle for me as a casting has always kind of irked me for some reason. I think it's mainly because of how Mattel, on their version, stuck the motor of the car in the front, when by principal design, the VW Beetle is a rear-engined vehicle. Johnny Lightning made theirs with the engine in the back, so I don't know why Mattel did this. I will say though, it's still a great looking casting that I'm a fan of. That's just always bugged me. Yeah, I know that wasn't funny. Moving on. Here are some Volkswagens in another form. Check out this reef's worth of sand crabs. Some of them have daisies decorated on them, as this car is one of two castings to have had a daisy sticker sheet included in the blister with them when they came out. The other being the Beach Bomb and the Chevy Nomad. We have a nice mix of yellows, antifreezes, magentas, rose, and two pinks. One salmon and one hot pink. Gotta love the universal appeal of dune buggies here. It's always a timeless casting, especially in Redline form. Lurking in the metaphorical grass, we have several grasshoppers here. I don't know many people who are necessarily fans of this casting, especially myself if I'm being honest. It's never done anything special for me. But I can't deny the condition of how nice these grasshoppers are. And like the sand crabs beforehand, we got a decent amount of hot pink and salmon releases of this casting in our newest collection here. All of these grasshoppers came with original roofs. You usually find these missing, so to see them all present here is quite a pleasant surprise. Next up, we have some 36 Ford coupes. Nowhere near as many Beetles here, but the condition of these pieces really stands out for themselves. The 36 coupe has always been a casting I've had a soft spot for. I think part of the appeal of the 36 Ford is from the longevity this tooling had after the Redline era died. This casting was constantly released after the Redline era in different forms, being released pretty frequently up until around 2015 or so. Continuing on with the pattern of classic American cars, here are some 55 Nomads. This casting holds a soft spot in my heart, as the 55 Nomad from Hot Wheels eventually went on to be the star in one of the Hot Wheels movies which sparked my interest in collecting, 2003's Hot Wheels World Race. But that didn't happen until 35 years later after the Redline era. So, back to it. And wow, these are all absolute stunners. But check out that pink Nomad in the middle. It needs absolutely no description. Our next highlight is a mighty fine selection of many mighty Mavericks. Try saying that one 3 times fast. Here, we basically have what's a full rainbow of the Mighty Maverick. You basically just need a purple Mighty Maverick, and you'd be all set. The highlight here definitely has to be this tough orange HK Maverick. You just don't see them like this, folks. This one is in very, very nice condition, and is definitely a tougher color for the Mighty Maverick. Now here's a casting that's always somewhat slept on in my opinion. The Seasider. This has always been a favorite casting of mine due to where I hail from. And it's just not a casting you see people really talking about. Well, unless they're listing the OG boats for the car for $75 on eBay. Regardless, this is still a favorite casting of mine that I wanted to show off, as we got some pretty nice ones in this collection. Especially that green aqua one in the middle. Wow. With this next lot of castings we're highlighting, I believe it would be appropriate to say that the British are in fact coming. Look at this massive collection of Cockney cabs we got in this collection. This isn't a casting we particularly dig up often here at Redline Archaeology, and on record, I don't think we've ever gotten this many in one collection before, so this is definitely a first. And especially, we haven't gotten many Cockney cabs in these unique colors, especially these magentas and aquas. Unfortunately, we've got to say pip pip cheerio to the Cockney cabs, as we've got way more cars to cover here over the rest of this collection. Moving from the most British casting of the Redline era to arguably the most American castings of the Redline era, check out this collection of spoilers we got in this collection. We have pretty much one of every spoiler casting you could ever want in this collection. Sugar Caddies, King Cudas, Heavy Chevys, Late My Firebirds, and more. You name it, it's here. However, you can notice that one casting in particular is missing. And that's because this Evil Weevil is in such nice condition and is in such an uncommon color, it demands its own spotlight presence. I would definitely say a color like purple is definitely a harder one to get in this condition. But that's not here nor there, so let's take a look at this red one instead. Moving from American Muscle to American Land Yacht, here is a beautiful lot of custom Eldorados. We have a great mix of the common red and blue colors, mixed with some tougher colors on the Eldorado like antifreeze, brown, olive, and creamy pink. I don't know what it is, but I've always been a fan of these custom Eldorados. Whenever we unearth them here at Redline Archaeology, they are always in impeccable condition. Continuing on the pattern of American cars, here's a pair of custom Camaros, perhaps the most ubiquitous of all Redline Hot Wheels castings, and arguably the most popular and recognizable. We had two in this collection, and I believe these are both absolute stunners. We got one in blue, which is obviously the most common color for this car, but not this condition. Don't see them this clean this often. You've always seen them played with. This one, however, was spared that. And to the left of it, we have this very beautiful and very unique green aqua faded custom Camaro without a black roof. With this unique shade of toning, it's pretty much a one-of-a-kind car. Pretty neat. There isn't much else to say about these two gorgeous Camaros, so again, I'm just going to let the conditions speak for themselves. Take a look at how gorgeous these two Camaros are. Following up this pair of custom Camaros, we've got a pair of custom Barracudas, one in US blue and one in an HK green. This blue one, in my opinion, is the winner between the two. It's in absolutely gorgeous condition, and with how wet that paint is, it looks like it just rolled out of the showroom. It is in absolutely remarkable condition, and has to be one of my personal favorites from this collection. That green one is pretty nice too. It is another textbook definition of being a common car in an uncommon condition. Now here's an original 16 that deserves its own spotlight. This gorgeous antifreeze custom Cougar. A very tough car in this nice of a shape, minus those unfortunate marks on the passenger side fender and roofline. The custom Cougar is a very underrated original 16 if you ask me. You never see people really talk about this one, which is a shame, because I think the Mercury Cougar is quite a cool car in real life. Now, you may be confused as to why I decided to show all of these swinging wings after all of the original 16s and muscle cars, which are miles more popular? Well, first off, look at the condition and unique color spectrum of swinging wings we have in this collection. But have you ever seen a purple swinging wing? This is by far, without a doubt, the rarest color of the swinging wing, and one in this particularly fantastic condition is capable of fetching some pretty pennies. Here's another particularly tough fantasy Redline. Here's a blue power pad. This is by far the toughest color to obtain on the power pad. Collectors don't tend to give the fantasy cars from the Redline era much love, but tough ones like this blue power pad can certainly fetch some big dollars. And as somebody who collects fantasy Redlines mostly, I can certainly appreciate fantasy Redlines being able to stand on their own in this market mostly dominated by original 16s and classic muscle cars. Finally, to close off this collection, we have a fantastic lot of classic cords, a very, very popular casting with collectors. I personally attribute this casting's popularity not only to its short production run, only being produced for 1971. Another reason I think this casting is quite popular is due to the gorgeous detailing on this car, between all the separately fitted moldings for the engines, the exhausts, the headers, and the bumpers, the opening hood, and its removable and replaceable roof. I think this is just almost the complete package and the peak of Redline engineering. Just to kind of prove this, compare the detail and features on this casting compared to a 1968 release like the Custom Camaro, and it's just absolutely night and day. Every single cord in this collection looks as if it just rolled off of the Mattel factory floor in 1971. And I believe the purple one here is the absolute highlight of this fleet, being the definite star of the show, and I believe it to be the perfect car to end this collection on. Well, that's all for today's exciting discovery here at Redline Archaeology. We appreciate the continued viewership from you, the fans, and we can't wait to share more of our findings from Redline dig sites all across the globe. If you like what you see here, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit our website at www.redlinearchaeology.com. Thank you for watching, and God bless.